Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Today, we're continuing our 5-year rebuild series here on the YouTube channel. Today, we're doing the James Madison Dukes. Now, James Madison last year had a really good year with Coach Kurt Cinetti. They have a really good roster. They were undefeated until they lost to, I believe, it was App State. And then they made a bowl game. Of course, we had that whole deal with the NCAA and their BS rules. And then, unfortunately, Kurt Cinetti left them, went to India, had a good year there. Half their players left as well. And James Madison lost their bowl game, and they kind of did not have a good year, or maybe they had a decent year. But today, I'm here to help James Madison win a national championship. Right now, James Madison, they are 76 overall on offense and defense and overall. They run the spread, and they have a 4-2-5 defense. So let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is our roster. We have Alonzo Barnett III. If you guys recall, he has won multiple Heismans in these 5 years at Clemson. Hopefully, he can stay with us for our entire tenure, but we got to make sure our coach prestige is there. We have Dylan Morris, who I believe transferred from Washington to be the backup. We have J.C. Evans. Hopefully, maybe he can develop with 83 speed. We'll see. Billy Atkins there. Ayo Adai, never heard of this guy until now. George Padaway, no clue about him. We have Ymir Knight. We have Chris Lofton, 93 speed. Maybe we can develop him. We have Taylor Thompson as our starting tight end. Nothing really much there. We have Jesse Ramel, starting left tackle there. Starting left guard, Carter Sweezy. We do have a freshman in Jacoby Campbell and Evan. Maybe we can develop them. Tanner Morris is our starting center. Cole Potts, starting right guard. Pat McNamara, right tackle. We have Eric O'Neill. Now, he might declare for the draft in this. He maybe not in real life, but he probably will declare for the draft. We do have 2 freshmen there as well. Senior, Mr. whatever his name, I don't know how to pronounce it. McMullen as a freshman D tackle. I mean, the roster just looks mid. I'm sorry to say it, but in the game, overall-wise, these guys just look mid to me. But you know what we have to do, guys. You know what we have to do. I'm just going to show these names off. You guys know what we have to do, and that is recruit. So let's get recruiting. Glenn Moe, committed. Jerry Quincy, committed. Al Aw, committed. John Bernard, committed. Hakeem Iki Jabu, Hakeem Iki Jabu, committed. Kevin Rohel, committed. Anthony Robinson, committed. Clint Doss, committed. Paul Truman, committed. Lynn Holmes, committed. Javon Bayer, committed. Alex Concepicon, committed. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Heisman Trophy winner is Cam Ward. Finally, somebody knew. It's no Jalen Milroe, no Avery Johnson, Kate Klubnik. Finally, somebody knew. It's been so long since we got someone new. Anyway, he had 3,647 yards, 33 tutties, and 4 picks. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, take it on the Boise State Broncos. Ladies and gentlemen, we are famous Idaho Potato Bowl champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 1 stats. Alonzo Barnett III, 3,293 yards, 273 for 408, 32 tutties, 2 picks, 66% completion percentage. Rushing, hey, yo! 212 for 1,193, 11 tutties. Barnett, 121 for 479, 2 tutties. Purdy, 18 for 49, 1 tutty. Petaway, 4 for 8, 2 tutties. Receiving, Ross, 77 for 1,035, 11 tutties. Donaldson, 50 for 743, 8 tutties. Knight, 49 for 644, 7 tutties. Thompson, 42 for 464, 4 tutties. Hey, yo! 36 for 213. Penny, 10 for 111, 2 tutties. Wright, 7 for 63. Purdy, 1 for 16. Padaway, 1 for 4. Defensively now, 82 tackles for Trent Hendrick. Jacob Dobbs with 80, 61 for Spencer. Logan with 59, 50 for Chris. Eaglein with 46, 43 for Jacob Thomas. Tackles for loss, 7 by Bush, 5 by Mans, 4 by DJ Cotton Jr. Lloyd Summel III with 3, 2 for Logan, 1 for Trent, Spence, Jacob, Brandon, and Terry Lockett Jr. Sacks Lloyd with 5, 4 for Mans, Bush with 2.5, 1 for DJ Cotton Jr., 1 by Spence and Dobbs, half sack by Trent Hendrick. Interception, Justin Eagle with 2, 1 by Dobbs, Logan, and Thomas. And that's the year 1 stats. I feel like with the class we had coming in, we can push to win the Sun Belt. Let's see what happens. Greg Stetz commits. Ladies and gentlemen, Cam Ward, the Heisman Trophy winner, falls to the Ohio State 38-28. Miguel Crespo committed. Stephon Rubin committed. C. Majah Bridgman committed. Austin Mack committed. Evan Johnston committed. Elias Allen committed. Olas Alien committed. Tamawa Duro Johnny committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the 26th best recruiting class in the nation. Best in the Sun Belt. We got some talent. We got to develop them. Maybe this talent helps us win the Sun Belt this year. Let's go. Dalton Hagen committed. Darwin Bernstein committed. Darrell Ryland committed. CJ Dreyer committed. Shadon Kolaka commits. Thad Nielsen committed. Matthew Urbach commits. Nolan Minter committed. Austin Skolins committed. Lawrence Kane committed. Zach Kaminsky committed. Dalton Whittaker committed. Eric Ingleton committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the Sun Belt Championship, and if we win, we're going to the playoffs here in year 2. Nolan Mayer committed. James Baumenmoyer committed. Darion Oinke committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We have won the Sun Belt Conference. I don't know if we're going to the playoffs, but hopefully, fingers crossed. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Heisman Trophy winner is none other than Cade Klubnik from quarterback from Clemson, 4,028 yards, 38 tutties, and 4 picks. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the Birmingham Bowl, taking on the Virginia Cavaliers. And ladies and gentlemen, we have won the Birmingham Bowl here in year number 2. Maybe we got a playoff snub. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 2 stats. Alonzo Barnett III, 3,313 yards, 287 for 394, 34 tutties, 3 picks, 72% completion percentage. George Pettaway, 233 for 1,223, 15 tutties. Barnett, 128 for 503, 5 tutties. Bayer, 30 for 84, 2 tutties. Hudson, 1 for 13. And Knight, 1 for 3. Receiving, Moss, 70 for 878, 11 tutties. Knight, 54 for 727, 12 tutties. Hudson, 48 for 634, 5 tutties. Kyle, 45 for 516, 4 tutties. Pettaway, 38 for 251, 1 tutty. Hicks, 21 for 193, 1 tutty. Gooch, 8 for 85. Bayer, 2 for 13. Have off the defense. Trashon Dye, probably butchered it. He had 99 tackles. DJ Barksdale, 68, 59 for Logan. Bush, 57, 55 for Johnson. Hakeem with 54, 42 for Jacob Thomas. Tackles for loss, 12 by Bush. Tamawa with 6, 3 for Dye. Hendrick and Gannon, 2 for Evan Johnson and Eric O'Neill. 1 by DJ, Logan, Thomas, and Regan. Sacks, 11.5 by Bush. Tamawa with 8, 5.5 for Trent Hendrick. Gannon with 2.5, 1.5 for DJ. Top Die with 1, half sack for Evan, Eric, and Logan, and Jacob Thomas. Interceptions, we had 7 by Chauncey Logan. Holy moly. Evan Johnson with 4, along with Milt Ferguson. 3 by DJ Barksdale. Jacob Thomas with 1. Hakeem also with 1. Those were the year 2 stats. I feel like we got stumped for the playoff, but let's not let that get us down and make a push here in year 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Miami gets back to the Natty, only to lose to another big team in the Penn State Nittany Lions, 27-24 in the final. Max Clary committed. Devin Jordan committed. Brennan Nicholson committed. Kanye Roberts committed. Brody Foley committed. Dylan Barberry committed. Coy Perch committed. Nazo Bennett Jr. committed. Nick Thompson committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 12th best class in the nation, best in the Sun Belt. I think next year we might be able to make the playoffs. Let's go. JJ Cookus committed. Jeremiah Sabin committed. Terrell Murrick committed. Jordan Kerner commits. Tavon Buchella committed. Sean English committed. Troy Vickers committed. JJ Boone committed. Chris Hicks committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we have won it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We're going back to the Sun Belt Championship. If we win, we might sneak into the playoff, but let's find out. James Feliz committed. Damian Cameron committed. Damian Kareem committed. Eric Jewell committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We are once again Sun Belt champions. Fingers crossed for playoffs. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 Heisman Trophy winner is John Matier, quarterback of Washington State. He had 3,403 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 3 picks. And ladies and gentlemen, we have made the playoff, and we have to take on the Heisman Trophy winner and the number 1 state ranked Washington Cougars. And ladies and gentlemen, we take down the Washington State Cougars, and we have now advanced to the quarters. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, taking on the 17th ranked Florida State Seminoles. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe it. We take down Florida State in the Cotton Bowl, and we're going to the semis. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the Rose Bowl, taking on Notre Dame. And ladies and gentlemen, we were this close to going to a national championship. We fall 24-17. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 3 stats. I think it's year 3. Alonzo Barnett, the third, 4,114 yards, 338 for 468, 40 touchdowns, 5 picks, 72% completion percentage. Gonna miss him. Petaway, 255 for 1,087, 30 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, Barnett, 140 for 706 tutties. Roberts, 43 for 203, 6 tutties. Receiving, Knight, 102 for 1,339, 13 tutties. Moss, 65 for 960, 7 tutties. Bennett Jr., 55 for 678, 11 tutties. Claire, 53 for 604 tutties. Petaway, 30 for 278. Hicks, 14 for 144, 2 tutties. Gooch, 6 for 56, 2 tutties. Roberts, 5 for 55 with a tutty. Defensively, we had 102 tackles by Dye. Miguel with 89, 73 for Milt. Evan Johnson, 62, 59 for Brandon Nicholson. Chase Reagan, 53, 49 for Coy. Nash with 45, 42 for Clint Doss. Tackles for loss, 9 by Nash, 6 by Tawama, 5 by Clint. Dye with 4, and Gannon, 3 by Miguel. Evan with 3, 2 by Mo, 1 by Nicholson, Chase, DJ, and Manning. Sacks, 6 by Clint Doss, Tamawa, 4 along with Gannon. Nash with 3.5, 2 for Miguel, 1 by Dye, 1 by Manning. Evan Johnson with the half. Interception, Coy with 5, 3 by Dye, 2 by Johnson, 1 by Miguel, Nicholson, and Chase Reagan with 1. We made the semis. I think the expectation now is to make the national championship next year. So let's go. Man, oh man, these two schools hate each other, but I hate one school in particular more. USC beats the school that beats us. That's why I hate them. USC takes care of Notre Dame for us, 27-10. Cam Pringle committed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 32nd best class in the nation. We really didn't get that many guys, just trying to get depth where depth is needed. But hey, we've gotten some guys that can help us in a few positions. Let's go win a natty here in year 4. Gabe Tavares committed. George Rahman committed. Trevor Stork committed. Juan Sylvia committed. Keenan Whitehair committed. Marco Conte committed. Garrett Kessler committed. Kareem Nwangwu committed. Tavon Jeffrey committed. Jaron Folk committed. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2027 Heisman Trophy winners, DJ Lagway, quarterback of TCU, had 3,600 yards, 37 tutties, and 3 picks. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the First Responder Bowl, taking on the 21-ranked USF Bulls. Ladies and gentlemen, we are First Responder Bowl champions of the world. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 4 stats. Austin Mack, 3,691 yards, 271 for 406, 31 tutties, 5 picks, 66% completion percentage. Rushing, Ryland, 199 for 809, 10 tutties. Mack, 93 for 338, 3 tutties. Matthew, 20 for 97, 4 tutties. Knight, 3 for 1 with a tutty. Receiving, Alex, 67 for 1,318, 10 tutties. Mazzo Bennett Jr., 65 for 781, 10 tutties. Maxwell Moss, 44 for 656 tutties. Zach Gooch, 40 for 562, 4 tutties. Ryland, 35 for 230. Hicks, 13 for 85, 1 tutty. Josh, 5 for 64. Matthew, 2 for 1. Defensively, 100 tackles by Dalvin Romo. Dye with 91, 55 from Coy. Al with 53, 51 for Hakeem. Brandon with 44, along with Milt. Miguel with 42, 40 for Glenn. Mo. Tackles lost, 6 by Miguel and Clint. 5 by Nash, 3 by Romo and Mo. 1 by Dye, Coy, Al, Brandon, John, and Mikel. 12 sacks by Glenn. Mo. Miguel with 3.5. Clint with 3. 2.5 by Nash. 2.5 by Dye. 2 by Romo. 1 by McMullum. Manning with 1. Half sack for Al and Hakeem and Darian. Interceptions, 3 by Milt Ferguson. Coy with 2. Nicholson with 2. 1 by Dye and Bernard. Took a down year, but we're going to have to push if we want to win a natty here at James Madison. And ladies and gentlemen, TCU, LSU meet in the national title, and DJ Lagway and TCU bring it home 27-23 the final. Sierra Torrance committed. Antony French commits. Davin Bruton committed. Farouk Hogg commits. Devon Sowells commits. David Countu commits. Bobby Flowers committed. Carlton Lewinsky commits. Nicholas Meeks commits. Ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 13th best class in the nation. Best class in the Sun Belt. We have gotten all the talent we needed. Let's go win a natty. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you know when you see this screen, auto recruiting on. Let's get to simming. And ladies and gentlemen, we are currently 4-4. Unless we win out and certain teams lose, we're not making the playoffs. And ladies and gentlemen, we are 8-4. I just don't think we're making playoffs happen. And ladies and gentlemen, we are once again Sun Belt champions. I don't think we made the playoffs though. And ladies and gentlemen, we did not make the playoffs. Instead, we're going to the Camille Bowl and taking on Buffalo. Let's end this on a positive. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the Camille Bowl. It sucks to not make the playoffs with this team. I felt like year 3 might have been our chance because that's when Alonzo was a senior, right? It's what a shame, man. It's been a long time since we haven't made a playoff with a school. Let's just end this on a positive. Ladies and gentlemen, I can see why this team did not make the playoffs. We do not have an offense. It's 3-3 in the fourth quarter. First and goal from the 7. Here we go. Number 28, Rylan. He's going to get us off 3. All right, second and goal now from the 4. This offense is putrid. We've only managed to score 3 points, and Rylan's going nowhere. Third and goal from the 3. Here we go. Rylan in the flat, touchdown. Woo! Well, ladies and gentlemen, first 15. Ladies and gentlemen, first and 10 from the 15. 10-3. We're trying to score another touchdown here. Rylan gets a 7. Second and 3 from the 9 here. Number 3, Marianne. He's going to hike it. Rylan in the flat, and that's a touchdown. Let's go. And ladies and gentlemen, it may not be a national title, but at least we win the Camille Bowl. I think something might have went wrong. Maybe it was at the quarterback position. I don't know how we did not make the playoffs. Yeah, so 8-4 does not get playoffs unless... Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it sucks. We have failed with James Madison. It's been a long time since we, made it to not a playoff, I feel like. I will stand on this. I think the Sun Belt is a very tough conference to win. I mean, 4 losses in this conference, and you basically kill yourself. And it kind of sucks with James Madison. They have one of the best fight songs I may have ever heard. And it sucks that we didn't get to hear it in a playoff. Now, did we struggle at finding a quarterback? Maybe. I mean, I know people in the live stream chat are going to kill me. Maybe you guys are going to kill me for this. The Norris Sellers was available in the transfer portal, I think, at the end of year 3, going into year 4, and I thought we were fine at the quarterback position, but maybe we should have got him. Once Alonzo left, I mean, I thought that was our best chance with Alonzo, and then I thought with Austin Mack he would be something good, and I guess he sucks. Year 3 was our best shot. We had it lost in a heartbreaker to Notre Dame. Maybe I should have went after Lord Narasolas and pushed in year 4, and then year 5 this would happen. But it is what it is, man. It sucks, I really wanted to win it for James Madison. Being new into the college football game, they have a great theme, great colors. I even brought out a purple shirt for him. It just is what it is. We just didn't get a good sim, I guess. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed, hit the like button, hit the sub button. When you guys hit like and subscribe, you guys motivate me to keep doing this. It takes 1 second to hit like, 1 to hit sub. If you're already subscribed, it takes 1 second to hit like. And with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. So I hope you have a great day or have a great night, depending on when you're watching this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. I'm out.